Good evening and welcome to the Bitter Knitters podcast. My name is Jacqueline. Arthur is here.
Hey.
Ryan is here.
Hi.
I forgot to say the date. That burp really threw me off.
Yeah.
It is January 29th, 2018. Welcome to the show. I guess it's like what Shrek says. Better out than in, right? Okay, no one's copping up to that one. I guess it was Cynthia Whitestone appeared and did that. Okay, so I have one quick update. I don't know if it's an update, but just add it to the story. We talked previously about North Korea joining South Korea, making a team, marching with them under one flag. Well, tensions are already starting and the Olympics haven't even started. North Korea has canceled a pre-Olympic event, which was like a concert. From what I can tell, it was supposed to take place in South Korea before the Olympics. And for some reason, South Korea media has insulted North Korea. I read the article. I didn't see what made the insult. I didn't understand what started the insult, but they took insult by it and they've canceled it. So
sucks for them, I guess.
South Korea will still do it. You know, they'll have other K-pop bands there and stuff, but and North Korea is going to do something separate from them. But you know,
are they still marching together?
As far as I know, according to the article, they didn't say that wasn't happening.
Okay. That's good.
I guess we'll see. The night before the Olympics or the morning of the Olympics, whatever it is, North Korea is having a huge military march.
Oh, of course.
They say that they're now changing it. That will be the day for their new anniversary of its military. So I guess you can just change your anniversary whenever you want.
Yeah, you're a fucking dictator. You can change whatever the fuck you want whenever you want.
Whatever the hell you want.
The fuck's it matter?
You own the fucking
I also
players.
was reading. I read last week that a lot of the South Korean female hockey players are upset because, you know, they spent all this time practicing and working and traveling and playing these games, and now they're losing their spots to the North Korean women that are going to be on the team, which I understand. That would piss me off too.
Yeah, that is a piss off. I mean,
so they're actually going to have just one team.
Yeah,
one team for women's hockey. Yeah,
I mean, it's cool. I'm really thrilled about this, but I mean, they shouldn't even really be that upset. You're gonna get your asses spanked by fucking USA and Canada anyway. I mean,
yeah, so, exactly.
Like, don't, you know what I mean? Like, don't count your fucking chickens before that shit hatches, because
they're not making it past the first round robin.
No,
let's face it.
I mean, the second that team faces off against Team Canada, like, Un's gonna want to start a fucking war with us because of how embarrassed his whole goddamn country's gonna look after that.
Expect some of these women to never be heard from again.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, they're gonna be disappeared.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So anyway, that's just a little update I want to talk about. And then I have a couple of funny stories that made me laugh this week. That happened in France last week.
Oh, the Nutella riots?
Hopefully people survived the Nutella wars.
Yeah, there's a couple of videos of it. Shit was fucking hilarious.
Oh my God, I wish I could understand French.
Yeah, I don't even need to know. Like, just watching them throw their little surrendering punches at each other was worth it. Oh fuck, it was embarrassing.
So they had a sale on Nutella. And I mean, it was a pretty significant sale. They normally cost $7.20 an equivalent to Canadian money. And they were on sale for $2.16. So you're looking at $5 off.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a huge sale. People lost their minds. And I guess because isn't Nutella getting harder and harder to get or something? I thought I heard there was a hazelnut shortage or something.
Possibly.
So they went crazy. They obviously didn't make limits at my store. If they had a sale like that, you would only be allowed to buy 12.
See, but here we're used to people being the worst. You know what I mean?
True.
Like we're used to people and the fact that, you know, we can't be trusted with anything. So we would know instinctively, like, no, put a limit on this, or someone's probably going to get, you know, someone's going to get stabbed over some fucking bullshit fucking hazelnut spread.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny. It's like for me, like when I used to coupon heavily, right?
Mm.
I would get mad that other people were buying the same thing.
Yeah.
And I would like go crazy, even though there was a limit. And they'd be like, oh, but there's a 4 coupon limit they get per purchase. I'm like, okay, no problem. Then I'd go to the back of the line again and be like, okay, I got another 4.
Yeah.
Go to the
yeah, well, that's what you do. At least you're a normal person. I have people come to my work when there's a limit, and they're with their, you can see them talking to each other and passing money back and forth. I'm like, you are a family. At least go to another lane. At least go to another lane. Don't try to con me and say you're not together when I've seen you talking the whole time you were in line. No. Move your ass to the next line, bitch.
But what if they're fucking friends? Oh my god, you're so rude.
So people can't be friendly. So just by being friendly to somebody, now I can't enjoy the dollar days.
No.
Fuck out of here.
No, go to a different line. No, this guy specifically, I saw them. I know they're store owners. They're trying to buy up all the bottled water that costs $1 for a case of 15. Yeah. And when I said it's 12 per family, he's like, oh, I'm her son. So he already told me he's her son. He's like, I live in a different place. I don't care. Go to another lane. Don't try to con me, store man.
That's real elitist of you there, Jacqueline.
I know.
This is why I do not approve of Jacqueline. I hate her. Lesbian.
Do you know, this is the funniest. When No Frills first started their dollar ads way back in the day, my husband still worked at No Frills. And people would literally, if you turned your back, they would take the sale items out of your shopping cart.
That's amazing.
Because, it's insane. Like, people go crazy on dollar days.
We're trash. Like, humans, we're fucking trash. Like,
over Nutella. I don't even like Nutella
Westerners
that much.
are the worst.
Yeah, we really fucking are.
I know one person who would not riot for Nutella, by the way, is our friend Justin. He does the TV attack with me. He hates Nutella with a passion.
I'm with him on that. I'm not a fan.
I
like eat it like every couple of years on toast with butter. It's okay, but we don't even eat a jar. If we buy it, it goes to the garbage always.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, my family in the Philippines goes crazy over this, and we buy in Costco or in BJ's. You get the 2-pack, the big 2-pack, and not 2-pack Shakur, but you get the big ones. 6 months. It's like how long it takes.
It's a long time for us to eat. Yeah. Like I said, it usually ends up in the garbage.
Because it's a lot. It's a lot of chocolate.
My kids don't even like chocolate. So it's only me and Scott. Scott very rarely eats sweets. And like I said, I eat it every few years. I'm not like craving Nutella. So
I can't stand it. I really can't fucking stand the shit. It's not even that good.
Yeah. And now it's made with palm oil, and palm oil is really bad for the environment. So if you're trying to improve your carbon footprint, don't eat Nutella, to be honest.
You know what I do to it? I rub it all over a penis.
Oh, Cynthia Whitestone has a penis? How's that possible?
Excuse me, Jacqueline.
It's 2018. Women are allowed to have penises now. Like, that's just a thing. Yeah, that's just a thing that happened. Like, it kind of happened overnight. But yeah, women have penises now.
Okay, so here's my next favorite story. I absolutely love this story. 2 Toronto police officers have been suspended because they consumed cannabis edibles, while on duty. They were on a stakeout. So about 1 a.m., they ate the edibles and they started to hallucinate, but shit got real. They had to call, one of the cops left the car, and the second cop got scared and called for help to search the area. And so a third officer showed up, and she slipped on ice looking for him and hurt her head because he was up in a tree.
I mean, like, I've eaten like some potent fucking edibles. What the fuck was in this shit? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's ridiculous. I've taken psychedelics and not have ended up in a fucking tree. Like, that's amazing.
Can I just so I was around a person not too long ago that was trying to share an edible. I'm not really a smoker. I'm not really I don't really do
a partaker
drugs. Yeah.
A
partaker in the recreational use of drugs. And this person was like, "Do you want a gummy bear?" And I love gummy bears, Haribo, whatever. And my friend was like, "Do not attempt to eat that."
Oh no,
it's not a regular gummy bear. I'm like, "What is it? Is it like a mystery flavor?" And then my friend was like, "Yeah, it is." And I swear to God, And my friend was like, "Do you not understand? It's like a weed gummy." I'm like, "No, thank you very much." I said, "I'm not trying to, like, what do you call that? I'm not trying to float on the Hudson River.
You're not trying to end up in a tree."
The thing is, it's like some people just like to take it on crazy. I had a person pull out a brownie from their pocket, not
not even wrapped up or anything.
Suspicious. No, it was wrapped up and stuff. And like, do you think it smells weird? I'm like, it smells a little bit like, weed. They're like, well, it is a weed brownie at a cafe. And I'm like, oh, holy shit.
God.
Oh my God. And I'm like, I'm just going to Uber home because, the person drove me with them.
People wandering all the streets with their weed brownie. Jesus Christ.
Well, the next day I got a text saying, what happened?
They didn't remember what happened to them.
They don't remember what happened to them. I was like,
my God. They could have been sold into the international sex slave industry.
What kind of lightweights are you hanging out with? Like, it's just a fucking pop brownie.
Well, look what happened to these two cops, Arthur.
Well, that's what I mean, though. Even them. Like, the fuck? Why are you fucking with edibles if you're new? Like, seriously.
And on your dog.
Well, that's dumb. But, it's... Yeah. I've advocated edibles since we started this show, right? I love them. I fucking love them. But I mean, don't just go do them on a whim. Like, seriously, don't. Like, you're fucking stupid if you do that. You are.
Don't do it in public for the first time too. I think stay safe with like a friend or a spouse or a sibling or somebody who's going to take care of you, right? Do it in a safe home,
Even for the experienced fucking marijuana user, someone who smokes fucking dope every day, you don't really understand how marijuana being processed through your liver affects you, and it fucks with you hard. Like, it's a completely
I remember our friend
high.
Danny, Brian. Danny, remember Danny? I'm not going to say his last name.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he tried edibles for the first time, and he said he couldn't even believe it. And he was a pretty heavy marijuana user.
Yeah.
He could not believe how strong that was and how long it lasted.
Because again, I'm not going to say what the chemical compound is because I know I'm going to get it wrong, but you've completely changed it from THC to something else, and
something stronger.
It's not necessarily stronger. It's just how your body absorbs it, how it makes use of it, right? Because now with the edibles, what you have to do is you have to bind the THC. I'm just going to call it THC just out of ease of whatever.
Yeah.
So you have to bind that to the fat of the butter. So once you eat that, your body is constantly processing that psychotropic fucking drug.
Oh my God.
So like it's a good long while until you start to come off that fucking high.
So if you ate one marijuana gummy,
I wouldn't feel a damn thing.
You wouldn't feel a thing. Okay, so say somebody like Ryan or myself.
Oh, you guys would be laughing your asses off for
a
long while.
So like that would last like more than like 15 or 20 minutes.
Oh, easily.
Even just one tiny little gummy. I love gummies. If somebody put marijuana gummies in front of me, I'd probably OD. I'd probably be the only person to OD on fucking marijuana because I'd be like, gummies, I can't stop.
Me and a couple of friends ended up getting a hold of 30 and 80 milligram gummies, edible or gummies, right? Or medicinal, sorry, because these were medicine. These weren't just for getting high.
Right.
Now the three of us are heavy marijuana users. So we're like, fuck it. So we're eating handfuls of these fucking gummies. God. 4 or 5 hours go by and we're just like, we fucked up huge. Like, we fucked up huge. Why did we do this? Right? Like, I mean, I'm not one that gets like sick,
Yeah.
Like, unless I'm like heavily drinking, I might throw up. But like, I haven't greened out on marijuana since I was like fucking 13. I was 28 and I was like, holy fuck, like this is wrong. I don't know.
This is the end of my life.
Yeah, like, I was contemplating like all my life decisions and shit. Like it was I don't know, it was an awakening fucking moment.
Well, that's like for me. Okay, and I'll talk about it in terms of alcohol for me. It's that one shot that just took you way over the edge.
Oh yeah.
I took this one shot and someone was like, oh, it's, what is it, like 151, Bacardi 151? It's like 100 proof or whatever. Oh my God. I was literally, I remember laying down on the bed, wearing my beautiful clothes, going, Lord, please, if you just kill me now. was not mine. Never seeing the light of day again because the room was spinning.
Yeah.
I could not. And the thing is, I'm not a throw upper. Like, I don't really have hangovers. I remember waking up the next day feeling. Only people who experience a hangover understand what it means when I say it's like you feel heavy in the head. Like I felt like there was a 600-pound woman on my head the whole time, and like she was trying to encase my face in her vagina. It was so bad.
People would pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah, fuck it.
I would never in my life drink the way I did when I was young. I know when you're young, you do stupid shit all the time. That was, I call it the one shot that threw me over the edge. It was just so much.
Well, that's it. Always when you're drinking, there's always like the one that's gone too far now. I should have stopped.
Yeah.
See, you don't notice it with the marijuana edibles as quickly, and like that's the other problem I find with a lot of people that try them, is that they don't have that instant high that they're expecting, so they eat more. Yeah. So they instinctively eat more.
And slow releasing.
It's exactly. It's not your fucking grandfather's pot. You know what I mean? Like, this shit's serious. Yeah. Like, it's fucking serious. You know, I make edibles every once in a while. You know, I'll make a batch of cookies or brownies or whatever.
That cornbread I saw on Facebook.
You know what? I probably could make fucking edible cornbread. That's actually a good idea. Thank you for that. But, you know, it's a little bit different. You know, the stuff that I'm making isn't as strong. But when you're getting the stuff that's medicine, you're fucking with shit that you don't understand. Like, really, you are. Like, you are. Oh my god.
Well, that's why I think it's a
for
good
AIDS
idea when it becomes legalized here in Canada. I think they should have some edibles in the 100%. The CCBO, because then they can advise you. They can say, this is just a weaker thing. This is a stronger. Take only a couple bites of this. Wait a half hour. Then see. You know what I mean? Like, somebody there will be an expert that can advise you and maybe make it safer to consume some edibles. Yes, I agree, Sister Patty.
She tried the edible.
Sister Patty says she'd try the edible cornbread.
All right, so
I'm down.
So next,
I'm down.
Next family,
I'll be in a coma.
Next family barbecue or gathering, I'll whip up some special fucking cornbread for us
all. All the Tom's people in comas.
Yeah, it won't be that strong. I mean, I'm making no promises. Like, I might just try to send Bob to the hospital.
I can imagine Jacqueline in the backyard rolling around.
I like hugging the cornbread. It's mine.
But no, if you are going to do edibles, you know, to anybody listening and you haven't yet done them, seriously take your fucking time. Eat one. Like, do the recommended dose.
Yeah.
Wait a few fucking hours. Like, please, just wait a few hours. I know it sounds counter.
Because you want to celebrate and have the fun, right?
That's it, right? The whole reason why we're eating edibles is to get high. And you want that high, but it's not like smoking a joint. You don't get that immediate head rush.
Instantaneous thing. Yeah.
Take your fucking time. Don't end up fucking in a tree, freaking out. You know,
on your job. On your job.
On the job. Fuck.
Officer Stoner.
What I mean, I like that story. Like, to me, that's kind of heartwarming to know that even the cops are out there fucking doing things that dumb teenagers were getting in trouble by these same assholes doing. You know. And I like it.
I kind of like it too. Like I said, it was my favorite story, so I had to make sure we talked about it. I want to talk about this one. I'm sure Arthur is the same way. I don't know about Ryan. Weird, unusual freak deaths. They're kind of fascinating, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are. They are. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know if I sent this one. I might not have. A man died in India by accident. He was walking. He was there to visit his sick father or grandfather, and a junior staff member, they haven't identified him other than a junior staff member, asked him to carry a metal container of liquid oxygen into a room. That room contained an MRI machine that was turned on, and he got sucked into the machine. The machine exploded. He breathed in too much large amounts of pure oxygen. And he also bled heavily from his accident into getting sucked into this machine. Horrible thing to happen. Obviously they're looking into it, investigating it, and I guess they're going to be charged the doctor and this junior person, and the family was given a compensation of 500 rupees, which is only $7,855. But still, there's some compensation. It's probably a lot of money in India.
That's what a human life is worth there, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, if that would have happened here, like, I mean,
that's multi-million-dollar loss.
Exactly. Like, you're now laughing. I mean, not laughing because, you know, tragic fucking death, whatever. But you know, you're never
your family member's set.
Exactly. Like, you're never wanting again. At the same point in time, I mean, I want to say, like, you're an idiot. Why would you do that? You know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, there's no chance.
He might not have known
exactly,
that an MRI machine could do that.
There's no chance that this guy fucking understood how an MRI machine works, like the magnetism that's going through that.
Think either, because you know what? If doctor said, "Oh, bring that in there," I might do it too without thinking. You know what I mean?
See, and this is, you know, I brought this up during our little after show chat last time, and I was saying how, like, I'm addicted to watching, like, gore and stuff like that. And this is pretty much not the reason, but it's the after effect of doing this. I am now so fucking careful in my day-to-day life because I've seen how quickly we get snuffed out.
Yeah,
like,
and it's really just by, like,
the stupidest fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know? I'm obviously not going to advocate people going out and searching out gore videos. Like, it's not, you know, I even feel weird that I fucking do it.
Yeah.
You would be surprised at how easy.
Well, that's what I was going to say. This is the next part. That got me thinking about strange deaths, and it made me think of a couple that I knew myself. And then think of, like, you always hear these horrible industrial accidents where a guy fell into a meat grinder or stuff like that. But it got me thinking, and, you know, so I went to Wiki. And I looked up unusual deaths, and you got the whole list from the beginning of time.
Yeah, really.
But I mean, here's a couple. I'm not laughing at people because I'm not putting anything that people did that they should have known better. Like, if you jumped into a snake pit, you kind of got what you're asking for. Yeah. I'm talking about true accidental strange deaths. So there was a guy who was a bus driver, and a meteorite fell out of the sky and actually killed him.
Jesus Christ!
Like, one of my horror nightmares actually happened to somebody.
Yeah.
Like weird things like that. I can't say this person's name. Somebody in 2013, last name D'Souza, was crushed by a cow falling through the roof of his house in Brazil.
Was it picked up by a tornado?
It didn't say. It just said the cow was unharmed.
That's fucking insane.
The cow was unharmed.
The cow was unharmed. There was I just saw this here before I moved it. A guy got bit by the severed head of a cobra and died.
Yeah, I've heard about that one.
He was making soup.
Yeah.
It's cobra head soup, I guess.
What the
It's just crazy, some of these weird ones. This is actually a really sad one. Mike Edwards, 62, he was the cellist and the founding member of the ELO.
Okay.
He died when a large round bale of hay rolled down a hill and collided with the van he was driving.
Yeah.
Literally just driving down the street. I mean, there's some weird shit, like a lady died because she had an allergic reaction from having sex with a German Shepherd. You asked for it, you sick bitch. Mr. Hands with the horse that killed him when he had sex with the horse. Remember that? Yeah. There's
also a story, it came out in Florida not that long ago, a couple of years ago, of a guy who was in court. I only heard about it because he was in court. He was having sex with a woman, and he killed her because his penis was too large. He choked her out. He suffocated her with his fucking penis.
Wow.
Yeah, and they showed the dick to the people to prove that it was that big.
He had to show his dick in court to fucking.
But my question is this. Now, I know, I'm sure he didn't mean to kill her, but at what point is the woman gagging and going blue or whatever he doesn't notice?
Hey, maybe that was her thing. Maybe that was her kink.
Maybe that's true.
Well, I was going to say, some people have very extreme kinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is true. Maybe she liked the choking. I don't know. 2001, Peter Robinson slipped on ice and drowned in his cat's water bowl.
Yeah. See, I never...
Like some horrible, sad things that are caused by freak accidents.
I never believed that when I was young. That, you can drown in 2 inches of water. I was always like, fuck yourself. That's the stupidest shit. And then you hear about it and you see it and you're like, oh, holy fuck. Like, you literally can drown in a few fucking inches of water.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm trying to think because, again, I've, ingested a lot of this shit. And I can't really think of any, like, ridiculously strange ones that I've seen or even really heard of. But
I'm sure there's more than even this list has, right? But I thought, well, let me go and see what I can see. And it's just, it's crazy. A guy got killed. He's 24 years old after being struck in the face by an airborne fire hydrant.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Well, even you think of like the people that unfortunately get struck by blown tires on the highway.
Oh, that's a
right.
scary one.
That's a freak accident. Like that's a freak fucking accident, you know, and that happens a lot, like a lot. Same with like the workplace stuff. Like some of this, I watched a video. Guy is just a maintenance guy. All he's doing is just walking out of the bay door, and the second, like, fate, you know what I mean? The second he was under that bay door, the fucking winch broke holding the door up, and unfortunately the door crushed him.
Killed him, yeah.
Right? Like that's a freak fucking accident. It's not one of like really kind of rare, like weird ways, but like.
Because what's the odds that it breaks the minute you're walking
like
under
it? Fucking millisecond that you were walking under it, boom. You know what I mean? Like.
Enough to get him in the head. Not even like hit him in the shoulder.
Oh
or
no,
the back
it wasn't his head. It crushed his entire fucking body. It was actually really fucking sad. You know, it's the fragility of life. You know, it's like I was saying when I was explaining my kind of addiction to gore. It is fascinating. Once you get over the fact that somebody's dying, you know what I mean? And it sucks. Like it does suck. You know, I definitely feel icky.
You're not cheering on the death.
No, fuck. Well, in some cases I am. In some cases, I you know, if I'm watching like combat footage or something like that, like I will say that I am actively cheering one side.
Okay.
But
the good guys, I hope.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm definitely not fucking cheering on ISIS. But it's weird. Like it's fucking crazy how fragile we are, and the things that will just take you out.
Now, did either of you have a fear of like something that probably would never happen to you, but you still, that's your worst fear of dying, like a strange way, like not, you know, heart attack or going by giant dick suffocation?
I'm always scared when I'm changing my guitar strings. I freak out because like, so I've only ever really had one accident with this. String broke as I was restringing. It was my highest string. So it's really thin. It's almost like a tattoo needle, and it snapped and it ended up inserting about 1.5 inches into my thumb. So ever since then, like I like shield my neck and my eyes when I'm tuning and shit. Like
makes sense.
Oh yeah, it fucked with my head pretty hard.
Become a garrote, right?
Yeah, but yeah, that's really the only like irrational one I have. Like most of mine, like this fear of death is like, you know, I'm scared of people driving and shit like that because you know, jump a curb and fucking run me over. Or, you know, like that's really it. I have that real fear.
Do you have one, Ryan?
Have one of what?
Are you even listening to the show? An irrational fear of a death that probably could never happen, but you're still afraid of it?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I really don't want to tell you guys. I'm super afraid that my phone is gonna like end up in my nostril and like kill me.
Huh.
I don't know why.
Because it fell on your face that time? Yeah.
And I woke up with a heavy feeling. It was just my phone. But it's, I don't know, like that's my biggest fear, is something with involving my phone. Or another one is, okay, so you freaked me out with this probably like 6 years ago. I remember you told me never take a shower when it's raining outside because it's thunder. So
I still do, but you can die from it,
Yeah, you can. I mean, most houses are now grounded, like properly grounded, so it's not a real fear. But if you're living in an older home, something that's built 60, 70, 80 years ago, there is a chance that lightning could travel through the water and strike you dead as you're fucking taking a shower.
Yeah.
Well, that is now my fear. I don't even wash my hands when it's raining out because I'm like, oh my god, the fucking lightning is gonna travel and kill me. And that's it. I'm dead forever. Like those are like, I have stupid fears. When it's raining outside, I turn off my phone because I have this thing of like, oh my god, the signal is going to be attracted to the electricity and it's going to like attack me or whatever.
Oh my god, you and Sister Patty need to hang out. She's afraid of thunderstorms too. My fear is, and it's a weird fear, I'm really afraid of a plane falling on the sky and landing on me.
Yeah.
So like when I used to stand at the bus stop a lot, if I saw a plane flying over, I'd be like, you know, like if that plane starts to crash, should I run to the side? Should I run backwards? Should I run forward? Which way would I run to get away from this plane? And then my other fear is like when I'm laying in bed at night and I hear the planes overhead, I think, oh, if the plane crashes, at least the kids are in the basement and they'll probably live, even though Scott died a horrible death. But
I kind of get that. I live directly under Pearson Airport's eastbound flight path. So any plane that's heading east out of Pearson Airport, Toronto's largest airport, flies directly over my house. And then I stopped giving a shit. And I was like, fuck it. If plane goes down, like, I mean, I'm not going to suffer. You know what I mean? Like, on that one freak fucking chance that it does hit me, like, that's just lights out. Like, see you the fuck later.
It'll be fast death.
Right? So I'm not too worried. For me, it's like, that kind of shit. I don't want to die painfully and slow.
Yes.
Like, that's the limit for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
that's everybody's fear, I think, is a painful, slow death.
Yeah, like shoot me in the head, don't give a fuck. Like that's lights out, boom, done. See you later. You know what I mean? Like you don't even register the fact that you're fucking dead.
Like think of like something like shark. You know, you're in the ocean and the sharks come and get you. Like that's horrible.
Don't even get me started on the ocean because fuck the ocean and fuck everything that's in the ocean. Fuck. Speaking of which, though, I was reading the other day that Vancouver or British Columbia as a whole is now banning all fucking shark fin soups.
Good.
That's I was really happy to hear that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
As much as I hate the ocean, I mean, I'm not for the the just bullshit killing of fucking animals for a piece.
Yeah, exactly. At least use the whole animal if you're gonna kill it.
Because I've eaten shark. It was all right. I mean, it's a little oily, but it was good. It was good meat. I mean, it's fucked up because I would have eaten shark fin soup if I didn't know what it was, you know what I mean? Like if I didn't know that they just took one little part of the animal and threw it back in the fucking ocean, like I probably would have tried it. Now I just, on a moral standpoint, I can't. It's just weird, I guess.
We have another commenter in chat room, Faldramir. Sorry if I said your name wrong. He's afraid or she's afraid of falling on their face and their nose going into their brain, which is, my dad used to always say when you fought, punch them in the nose with the flat of your hand and make it go into their brain.
There is a chance of that. You always can crush your cartilage, and if the force is hard enough, it can shoot right up into your brain.
Yeah. So I get that one. Now I have a new fear. Thanks. And I'm already old and fat, so I'm already afraid of falling down because, I'm old.
Like, and it's funny to me too, because like I'll do some of the most like dumb fucking dangerous shit I can do with zero fear. Like really, like except for the safety precautions and stuff like that, because you don't want to die being an idiot. There's nothing worse than being what's his name, warm beer, and going to North Korea and dying over it. Like, because again, I'm sorry, it's a tragic thing, but you're a fucking idiot. You kind of got what you deserve.
Exactly.
And that to me is more my fear, is dying in an embarrassing way, and not in like an embarrassing pose or like I'm found fucking naked on my deck or some shit like that. Like whatever, I don't give a fuck about that. But like auto
asphyxiation. Would that be embarrassing? That would be embarrassing to me.
No, because that tells the world like I knew what I wanted and I was out getting it.
Oh my god, death by like your vibrator going off and exploding inside your vagina.
Like something stupid like that, like being strangled to death by the sex robot that's being delivered next week.
Yes. What's her name?
I'm not giving it a name.
Okay, bitch.
Then it makes
Wait, you really ordered one?
Fuck no. You think I got that kind of money?
$15,000 when you could go on a trip around the world with that money?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not spending that kind of money on like a fucking couple of tube socks and some Vaseline, bud. Like
I told you can buy a freaking cantaloupe at the grocery store for $1.97. Right. Okay, so let's move on. This is not a fun story. This is actually a really upsetting story. Okay. This story is coming out from. It was on Newsweek, but I guess it's coming out of the United Kingdom. There's a secret Facebook group where some very desperate and I guess really misinformed parents are giving their children bleach to try to cure their autism.
Yeah.
They believe it was caused by pathogens and parasites, which the chloride dioxide kills.
So why are they still in possession of their children?
I don't know. I guess because it's secret and trying to get, maybe they have fake names. I have no idea.
That's abhorrent. That's fucking insane. If any, I mean, I'm fairly certain that we don't have the reach over into England right now, but if by chance there's anybody from England listening to this, you better find those people and get them goddamn kids out of their fucking possession.
Yeah, these poor kids. I mean, they're already, suffering from autism, so we don't even know how developed they are. They could be like really nonverbal and not able to communicate, or they could be highly functional. Who knows? Yeah. But this is a horrible thing to do to any person.
Wow, that is.
Let alone a child that can't protect itself.
That's fucked up. That's
really sick.
That's
now,
disgusting.
From what I was reading, this is actually something that some people in America have already believed in. I guess there's a religious group that believes in this and are already doing this. So, Jesus Christ.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
I will say this. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration warned that the product used as directed, so for your laundry and cleaning. Industrial bleach can cause serious harm to health, and it's banned. This level of bleach is banned in Canada. So you can't even get this level of bleach. It's so strong.
Oh, that's fuck. I don't know what to say about that, except for that's absolutely disgusting. And like, this is one of those cases where I do wish pain and suffering on the perpetuators of this shit.
Me too. Absolutely.
I'm not one for that. I'm really not one to wish pain and suffering and death amongst people, but these people should die, and those kids should be fucking forcibly removed from them.
Oh, this makes perfect fucking sense now. Apparently this is, so it was the U.S. church was a branch in Los Angeles. They were called Genesis 2 Church. They were founded by Jim Humble, a former Scientologist.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
Fuck's sakes.
Freaking wackadoos.
Oh my God. Like, I've always had this issue when it comes to cases with children. It's just, I obviously understand that we are grown-ups and we do know, we know what's best. I mean, supposedly, we're supposed to know best.
Or at least we're working in the idea that we know best.
And then you hear this shit, and it breaks my fucking heart. Like,
well, and I'm not going to say that being the parent of an autistic child is not extremely hard.
Oh, no, not at all.
And I guess you do become desperate looking for a cure. People, this is not going to help you. If you're listening to this and you have an autistic child, this will not help your child. You're going to make your kid die.
Well, even if you look at it in just like a fucking like black and white scientific kind of fucking stand, what is autism? It's a developmental condition, right? How is fucking something like bleach going to fix a developmental problem? How, like,
even if it was caused by a bacteria.
Right, exactly.
It's already done the danger. It's already done the thing.
The damage is done.
Yeah.
How do you think the human brain works? Do you think fucking putting bleach on it is like putting bleach on a white shirt? It's just, it's fucking good as new now.
Oh, crack open my skull, bleach my brain, and I can forget all the horrible things that ever happened to me in my life, right?
I mean, I'm sure you could. I'm sure like that actually is the end fucking game. You will forget everything that has happened to you. As well as your ABCs and how to fucking keep the drool in your mouth and shit like that.
Butt, breathe.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
That's right up there with child abuse. And I thought the anti-vaxxers were bad. These people are literally like gonna murder their kids.
And that's it too, because I'd imagine that these people are proponents of the anti-vax fucking scene, but yet you're gonna give bleach? Like, what the fuck? Like, you can't, I can't give my kid the polio vaccine because there's methyl mercury in it, and that means, mercury is in it, and that's just a no-go. Now, foregoing the fact that you know absolutely zero about fucking chemistry and how chemical compounds work, you're going to be like, oh, but bleach, that's the solution right there. Like, we're going to fucking, oh, God, that hurts. That hurts.
It's insane. It's insane. Don't do it. Please, please, please don't do that.
If you are listening and you are considering giving your autistic child bleach to fix their autism, take a mouthful of that bleach first, just to test if it's pure for me, please.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Drink a mouthful every day for a month.
Yeah, please. And then then get back at me with the results.
Yeah.
We'll go right scientific with this. Fuck's sakes.
Okay, so now here's the next story. I'm really interested to hear Arthur's opinion on this guy. I know Arthur would never call himself a feminist, but he is pro-women's rights.
Yep.
But we've got a Republican senator coming out of Missouri. His name is, let me get his name because he's a complete and utter douchebag. Why isn't his name in the first paragraph? Anyway, some guy whose last name is Cortland. Cortland Sykes. That's his name. Ugh, what a horrible douchey name. He's stating that feminists are she-devils.
Yep.
And he expects his fiance to have dinner prepared for him every night. He says, Chanel knows that my obedience comes in with a very small price that she loves to pay. I want to come home to a home-cooked meal at dinner every night, and one that she fixes. And he says that he expects one day to have his daughters learn to fix after they become traditional homemakers and family wives.
Yeah, good luck with that, I guess. Like, It's you and your wife's prerogative to live that way. Who am I to fucking say anything about it?
Absolutely.
Is it completely fucking antiquated and not the way we live now? Absolutely not. But I mean, more power to you, bud. If you think you got, you know, you're rocking that magic stick and you can fucking control her like that, then fucking by all means, I guess. You're an idiot.
Well, and it's interesting to see, like, he's coming out from that, which is fine. Like I said, if you don't want, I mean, I would never call myself a feminist either. No. A lot of these crazy feminazis are scary. Yep. They're too far to the extreme for me. But you can't say what your daughters are going to be. No. They're not even born yet. You haven't even made a daughter who even says you can make a baby. Probably have a tiny little set of balls that don't work. But, you know, like, no. You don't get to raise your daughters to be like some traditional little like freaking Utah Mormon sister wives.
No.
You know? Come on.
Now, as much as I'll agree that third wave feminism is a fucking cancer on society, and it is, it's really forced a lot of this progress for progress sake shit down our throats. Stuff that I personally have, you know, a moral standing against. Feminism in itself it's a great thing. Like, realistically, when you think about it, because I mean, the term feminism does mean equality amongst the sexes. Hey, that's fucking great. Like, that's a great notion. I mean, who can really argue against that? But this is that like ugly other side of it, you know. And me and a friend of mine, when we first really started delving into the third wave feminism a few years back now, we were kind of predicting this shit was going to happen. That you were going to get people from the other side of, especially the political spectrum, kind of abusing this shit, you know, going so hard with the the nuclear family bullshit, you know, my dinner should be fucking made, you know, speak when spoken to, that kind of shit. Like, you're gonna see a resurgence of that stuff, and here it is. You know, it's why I can't stand progress being shoved down my throat personally, because I know how I think, and I know how I am a real, not only reactionary, but I pull back, right? Like, the second you start telling me that I have to do something or I can't do this, well, I'm going to go and do exactly what you're saying I can't do. And I'm a relatively reasonable person. Then you have people like this fucking dickhead. And there's a lot more people like this dickhead than you would think. Right?
Well, and I think we see this mirrored in other cases too. Like, it's the exact same situation when you talk about, you know, the white supremacists, right? It's the same situation where you got people worried about the, you know, the rainbow mafia.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like that reaction.
Mafia. You never heard the mafia? Yeah, the gay mafia.
Oh,
Ryan, don't you know that your people are out there trying to control all of us through like Thomas the Train and everything?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But that's the thing. So I think that you're right. It is a reaction. It's kind of like, you tell me this, then I'm going to do this.
But it's to the extreme. And to be honest, a lot of this is reactionary to the extreme side that we're seeing with amongst progressives. You know, because there is now, even when you look at now the dirtier side of #MeToo, or, you know, any of these real progressive movements, there's a real like, this is how it is. There's no questioning it. There's no arguing it. And if you do, then you're some bigoted, racist, fucking white supremacist, blah 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 blah. So when you start saying shit like that, and you start treating people like that, this is the reaction you get. This is exactly the reaction that you're going to garner from a lot of fucking people. And I know that, you know, the Proud Boys kind of think similar to this. They believe, you know, in I don't want to say male dominance, but they still do hold on to that old antiquated, like, 1950s.
Like, the man's the head of the house.
Exactly. I come home from work. I expect dinner to be made.
And gin and tonic. And
right? Now, again, I don't think that is the most problematic thing out there. I really don't. I've never looked at that as some...
As long as this guy's not abusing his woman to get that,
you know...
Right?
I'm home come dinner time. I have dinner ready. I don't see that as being an issue of the sex.
No, you know? Whoever's home should have dinner ready when the next person gets home.
Yeah, to me, it's just, you know, something you do in a fucking relationship. But fuck this guy. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's obviously not going to get anywhere. I kind of, when you first said this to me, it just sounded something reactionary. You know what I mean? It was just something that he said to just kind of get a rise out of people, or maybe
some publicity.
Yeah,
but this guy looks like such a douche. Did you see his picture?
No.
Oh my God. He's just like, you know, he's got like the hair and he's got his brow furled and he's out in the sun. He's got the unbuttoned dress shirt with the suit jacket. Like he's just trying so hard. He's so extra. Yeah. I bet you every night Chanel, like, you know, puts him in his gimp mask and sticks a butt plug up his butt because that's who's really dominant in the fucking relationship. Ugh.
On the other side, though, kind of on not his defense, like I'm not defending this man at all, but it seems like if you're a woman and you choose to be a homemaker, and then this is kind of, I don't want to say the rules, but this is kind of how you live your life. Like pretty much what he's saying there, that dinner's taken care of. Right, exactly. It almost feels like socially you're kind of, you're looked at as kind of like a pawn or a puppet, or you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's it. Like, you know, stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home wives. You know, why aren't you working? You know, we're feminists. We can work. We can do it all. But then if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're bad. But if you're the working mom, oh my God, your kids are suffering.
Yeah, right. It's such a catch-22. It's a no-win scenario. Like it really is. It's like a fucking film noir. Like you cannot win in this scenario. It's I don't know.
He does say this. I will say this. I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass on certain things. He says, I want to uphold these family tradition values, and so does she. And he says, not all feminism is bad, but then he points to Kellyanne Conway, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and Ivanka Trump as some of the best models of feminism. Next.
Bye.
I mean, how is he wrong? I mean, except for Melania, Huckabee's got a good job, a great fucking job. She's out there doing it on her own. Seriously, like seriously,
I have zero respect for Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
You don't have to respect them, but he's not 100% wrong. He's not entirely wrong there, especially when you're looking at it through the scope.
They might be models of some feminism, but they're not the best models of feminism. That's what I'll say.
But what is the best model of feminism?
Me.
Not those two.
Right? You know, that's this is my whole issue with feminism in this third wave, in this world that we live in currently, is that there's no real like mission statement. You know what I mean? There's no coherent argument. Because by most of the things that I hear, you know, it's about, well, apparently rights that women don't get that men have, and I'm still yet to really see any of these you know, fantastical rights that I have that a woman doesn't. Like and I'm being fucking honest here. I have not seen any examples of this. But these women have good jobs. Okay, so there's check one, right? They appear to be doing it on their own. Like they don't have some male behind them fucking forcing them to do this. You know, it's not, you know, they're not being coerced or being exploited like sexually or anything like that. So
no, that's true.
There's check two. You know what I mean? Like, it's just funny to me because, I mean, just watch the fucking.
Okay, I'll admit my bias is in there. I hate those
exactly, right? And that's it. And I don't care if you hate people. Like, I really don't. I hate tons of fucking people. You know, and I that's your right to fucking hate. But it's like again, you just watch the Women's March, the one that just happened, and you will see this feminist bias that I'm kind of going off about right now, where it was a safe space for all women unless you had a "Make America Great Again" hat on. Then you are not fucking welcome there. No, see, you are not a feminist. But how are these women not feminists? Not right. They express their fucking political leaning, which is their right to fucking do.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
Yeah, that's not right. I remember even Kathy Griffin was saying she wasn't allowed to speak at the engagement. Nothing stopped her from marching. I don't think she did go and march. She should have marched. But yeah.
It's just there's
women were excluded, which is not.
Yeah, it's to me it's not right. It's not appropriate. That's not to me what the word feminism means.
Especially when they let men march. If you're letting men march, why can't a woman that has a different, as long as you don't, you know, end up in a squabble or a riot or a fight, you should, you know, we all should be able to face opposing views without losing our minds.
Absolutely, but you can't.
Right?
You know, we're in such.
That's the problem. It's so divisive.
And I mean, to me, the third wave feminism shit is really what started this whole like progressive fucking bullshit that we're kind of dealing with right now. And I even hate that I have to use the term bullshit when I'm talking about it. Because I mean, let's be honest, like to be progressive is great. It's fucking amazing. Like we should all strive to be better than who we were yesterday.
Progressive means, you know, like, you know, moving on, getting better over time.
Yeah, exactly, right? But it's funny to me because like all this shit in the name of progress, but nothing is being progressed. We're regressing, if anything. I don't know.
Well, I get a lot of, especially in America, like up in Canada, it's a very different circumstance with women and women's rights and stuff. I get in America, like, when it really does seem like there's a war on women's health.
Yeah.
Right. All these states are closing down free clinics and women's clinics, and your insurance, you don't get your birth control pill, but guys can get Viagra.
See, that's pretty weird offensive. As fuck. Like, that's weird as fuck.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not a right. You know what
I
mean?
No, it's not a right. Birth control is not a right. You're 100% right. But we should have access to medical places and not using loopholes to close these.
No, I've never been one that was against that. You know what I mean?
No,
I've never
even
had a thought against that kind of shit. Like that's just it's fairness, right? Like and I mean, let's be honest, like Viagra being covered is one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever heard. Like, because that's not a medical thing. Like, you having the ability to have sex as a geriatric is not like.
Well, I'll say this: it is a medical. I think people having a healthy, happy sex life is only going to help their mental well-being. I don't have a problem with Viagra being covered 100%. I think if a guy needs it and it's a medical necessary, good. If you can find someone to have sex with, fantastic. But I don't think it's fair that would be covered, but women's sex issue, because now if I can't get birth control, I'm not going to have a very comfortable sexual experience. I'm going to be terrified of getting an STD or pregnant or whatever. I just don't get why. And they're going back to the abortion thing again, constantly.
Oh yeah, no, that stuff's always aggravated me. I mean, to be fair, like I will argue the other side of that, like from the male's perspective.
Yeah,
it does. Like there's. To be honest, like that's where I see the biggest inequality currently is with reproductive rights. I have seen somebody get knocked up, a woman get knocked up, and the man wanted to keep that kid. And to be vindictive against him, she had an abortion.
That's sick.
Right? Now,
that's sick.
Completely fucking 180 on that. He doesn't want the kid, but she keeps the kid and now forces him to pay 18 years of fucking child support.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying that anyone should be able to get away fucking scot-free. If I impregnate a woman, I obviously should be responsible for that fucking kid. I had a hand in making it.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's just, to me, that's the most glaring example of inequality amongst the sexes.
I kind of agree to some degree, because I've had this debate too about abortion and men's right in abortion.
Yeah.
I remember the very big case, and I think it was in Quebec, when the woman was pregnant and wanted to get the abortion, and the guy was fighting to keep her from getting the abortion because he wanted the kid. He wanted the baby, but our voices are completely. Kind of a horrible thing to do, to just go out and kill someone's baby without their knowledge
because you didn't want it. No, I have.
And I get that you didn't want it, and that's your right not to have that baby. I 100% stand by anybody's right to choose and have an abortion. But, and I mean, in some cases, the guy's not around, you don't know his name. But if you're a boyfriend, if that's your boyfriend, or you're in a serious relationship with that person, I don't know. I would feel bad doing that without at least their knowledge of it.
See, and Patty brings up the wage gap here.
Yeah.
In kind of a roundabout way. Now, I've read the wage gap. When I first heard about that, I was really, really, utterly fucking upset and disgusted by that. To hear that at face value, I was like, wow, that's fucking low. Like, that really is low. And then when you really look into these studies that kind of prove the wage gap, they're bullshit. It's median income. Now, I'm sorry that, there aren't that many women iron workers, or there's not that many women electricians, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot equate that to an inequality of rights between the sexes. You can't. You can't. No one is holding women back from going out and becoming welders.
Well, no, but the point is, this just happened at the BBC last week. You had male staff members and you had female staff members, and there was a huge disparity in their wage.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like
they took pay cuts. By the way, the male staff members took pay cuts.
Yeah.
Can I actually just speak on this a little bit? I had a huge discussion about this with a friend of mine for hours, and she was astounded at the things that I was saying. And I'm going to take what Arthur had said earlier and even piggyback off of that further. Feminism, for you to be a feminist, you must believe in equality for all sexes, right? Or all sexes, rather.
Mm-hmm.
My main issue with feminism, or this newfound wave of feminism that people like to call themselves is that they're looking for benefits for themselves. For example,
or more than.
Yeah. For example, right? Life insurance. Huge thing. Insuring Jacqueline at her age would be cheaper than to insure Arthur.
Yeah.
For his age. I can choose my sex.
Yeah.
But there is that, scientifically.
It's also case by case. When you go for life insurance, they look at your job, what you're making. Like when Scott and I went and got our life insurance.
Not always. There
and it also goes by age as well. Like I'm closer to death. They're not going to insure me for $60 million anymore.
Oh, no, but it's possible that you will get a cheaper quote, dollar for dollar, than Arthur would because he's a male. You know what I mean?
Because it's presumed that he's going to be the breadwinner.
That also mortality rates.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to say the mortality rates, the mortality table, men die faster.
Yeah.
But here's also another part. Forget life insurance because that's typical. To insure a male, right? To insure a male, let's just say you guys are the exact same age, exact same height, exact same address, exact same birthday. It would be cheaper to insure Jacqueline than it is to insure you because the belief is because you are a male, you're prone to road rage and accidents and all this stuff.
Well,
dumbassery.
I don't want to paint every man with the same brush, but let's face it, when there's like a horrific car crash, you got to say like 8 times out of 10, if someone's doing crazy speeding driving, it's usually a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then if we're going to talk about, here's my thing. If we are going to talk about equality, right, then equality means equal for everybody. There's a huge...
I agree. I think there should just be a standard rate for everybody's insurance. I don't think it should be a sliding scale. But that goes for age. So there's ageism. Because the younger you are, the more expensive the insurance is.
But that's my point. I'm breaking it down in the simplest forms, which is insurance, right? For a lot of people.
Yeah.
To me, my issue is that a lot of people like to talk about, the inequality that's going on and blah, blah, blah. A man, and this angers me, a man does not get to have paid paternity leave.
They do in Canada.
Yeah, we do here.
Not in the United States.
Well, if you're in the United States, go to Norway, go to France, go to Canada.
Go to any place that doesn't make fucking dime on the sick.
Women don't even barely get a maternity leave in America either, though, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What do they get? 6 weeks?
That's true. Mm-hmm. 6 weeks, but a man doesn't even get any.
I know, that's ridiculous.
A day. But this is my point is, yes, okay, you're making 83 cents to a man's dollar. I understand. That's a little bit upsetting, especially if you're doing the exact same work. But, and this is going to come off very, very sexist, and please don't kill me for saying this, Jacqueline. Hold on. Don't kill me for saying this. A woman I am in a heavily woman office, women filled office, rather, should I say. Who is expected to change the water when the dispenser is empty? Who is expected to carry the heavy package when the packages come? Who is expected to...
That's not right. Tell them you don't want to.
No. But it is constantly said that is your job.
No. And when I worked at the hair salon, I did all that stuff, and I was a girl. I was a woman.
No, I'm not saying this about you, but again...
No, I know, but I understand. That's the expectation. Yeah. One of the guys will do that.
This is my issue when it comes to equality. Look at just how you live and how you work and how you don't always function the same. It's like, you're making, there's 100 women in the office and then there's 5 men. You know why those 5 men are getting paid more? Probably because they're having to carry all your shit.
That's not why. What about in an office where the guy's not carrying the shit? You know what I mean? Like we're talking about an executive in a bank, right? Let's talk about something like that. He's not doing the heavy lifting.
No.
Well, but that's different. That's different. But I'm talking about this in the sense of, let's just talk about the regular people. I'm not talking about the executives and the ones that sit in the office and, fire people or whatever. No jab to the president at all. Who fire people or whatever the case is.
Isn't there a maintenance man at your job to do those things? I'd be like, whatever. Although, I will say this. I'm very guilty of tricking the guys at work into doing things. This is my trick I taught the girls at work. So if there's something heavy I don't want to pick up because I'm lazy, not because I can't, it's because I'm lazy. I'll be like, oh, you know what? I'll be like, hey, Zabby. I'll just choose one of the guys. Hey, Zabby, I was gonna ask so-and-so to pick that up, but I don't know if he's gonna be strong enough. And Zabby will do it because, you know.
See, but that's the woman's power. And it's sometimes, you know, it's very it's very annoying when people do that. For me, it's like sometimes I'm in an office, and I was in an office with a bunch of women, and I was expected to do the trash all the time. I remember I sent a beautiful email to my boss saying, then that means you got to bump me up in terms of pay. And
yeah, if I'm doing maintenance work, no, you're paying me extra.
Yeah, that's not my. The thing is, there are situations where I feel like I'm not excusing inequality. Oh my God, this is going to come off so wrong, and I'm sure I'm going to be hated for saying this. But there are times I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, bitch. That's why you're getting the 83 cents to my fucking dollar. You
so tell them that.
The 5
tell them that next time.
You can't get the £5.
The wage.
You can't carry the £5 fucking package or whatever the case is. Fuck
the wage gap can be quickly disproven easily. One easy fucking thought. If women get paid and we socially accept the fact that they get paid less than men, why does any man have a job? Why the fuck, as a business owner, would I hire a man when I can get the labor cheaper for a woman?
That's a ridiculous response.
Really?
Because you know that men run companies, and it's not always just about the money. They think that men are
what company
tougher,
runs
making deals.
What company runs without the bottom line in mind?
No, I can even tell you where my husband works and the job he works at. Even though the women make the same amount of money because they're in a union and they're forced to be made the same amount of money, the ideas of the women that the men have when the women aren't around are drastically different, that they're not as capable, that they don't do as good a job. You know, this is still pervasive.
Can it be proven, though?
That's when sexism...
Proven that women can't do it? It's an attitude.
Not that women can't, that the women in question can't. You know, and that's another thing that I'm tired of hearing.
Scott says they're all fine, I guess.
You know, a lot of people equate a sentence or a statement about a certain individual as everybody. I'm not referring to everybody. I'm referring to this useless fucking bitch.
Of course there's useless people. There's useless men. I work with lots of useless people. Trust me. But the point is that of course men are going to hire more men. Women are not seen as strong enough to do mentally a job as women, or as men, I mean. Women are seen as not cutthroat enough, or women are seen as too moody, or women are seen that they're going to go on maternity leave, or they're going to have a mental breakdown because they're so weak-minded.
All of which affects the company's bottom line, which is all they care about. You know, I said this before. You're a fool if you think your company cares about you. You're a fool.
Of course they do.
Right?
Yeah. But that's
you're a fool if you think any company cares more about the bottom line than they do anything else. Like, that's all they give a fuck about. They care about profits in. That's it.
Of course.
Right?
No, I'm not. See, my thing is, I'm not attacking women at all. But if you are going to be a feminist, you must also fight for men's rights, because it's about equality.
I think
it's about equality, but it has to be about equality.
All of these movements,
because
all of these fucking movements, they claim equality. They claim equality, but all it is taking the status quo, which, I mean, again, we can, I'm sure we can all admit that the status quo should be changed, and getting special privilege on top of that.
And I agree. There shouldn't be special privilege, 100%.
When I was told in high school, I remember we had this debate. It was the debate of the sexes, and I remember this stupid bitch. I'll never forget her name. Her name was Judith. If you're still alive, I hope you drown in your own pee. Said I should be able to take your seat on the bus because I'm a woman and I carry babies. And I said, "Fuck you! No. You're fat. That's your fault. You're fat."
Next time you knock up with a dude with a car.
It's like this stupid thing. I've heard people say.
So that's the thing. Nobody is deserving of that seat, other than the person that sat there. Now, if I'm on the bus and I see a noticeably pregnant woman, I'll give her my seat. If I see an older person, I'll give them my seat. But I don't just give it up for a woman that's like 20 years older than me. Fuck her. She's gotta be old.
I only ever give up my seat to pregnant women and women with kids. I absolutely hate everybody equally, and let me explain why. Old people, you've had more chances to sit, so too bad. Next, like, I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit unless you are a pregnant woman or you have a kid with you. You know what I mean? Out of respect, I will give you that seat because I know what it's like. You know, I've been.
Well, it's hard. The little kids like fly all over when the bus is moving.
Yeah,
that's why I give old people my seat because you watch them fly all over.
I've had people tell me, "Why won't you give up your seat to that older person?" Well, too bad. They've had more chances to sit. Not my fucking fault. Like I'm call me a cunt, call me whatever you want to call me,
cunt.
But I hate people equally. This is how I view the world. It's like I just hate everyone equally.
Just misanthropic.
There are designated seats in New York City transit buses and
but what if they're already filled by old people?
Well, too fucking bad. Don't be old. Not my fault.
One day you'll be old, Ryan, and you'll see.
Well, it's like there's this there's an acceptable social hierarchy that we all have to somehow maintain, right? Where the elderly and the pregnant and they all get dibs, like first come, first serve kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And to me, that spits in the face of equality. If we are equal, if we are all fucking equal, then no. Yeah. I'm sorry, but no. And like I said, if you're pregnant, you're riding the bus, and you're looking at me for my seat, next time, fuck a dude with a car. Like, let that loser know.
Nobody has to get up for pregnant people. I do think we should get up for elderly, only because, like, look, this is...
Not I.
These are our old people, you know, and I'm not saying that they can't be old and racist and stupid jerks or whatever, but still, I mean, it's an old person. They're frail a lot of times. I don't know. I have very little respect for people that don't sit down for a little old rickety lady who's about to fall down on the floor. I'll call you out on the bus and tell you what a dirtbag you are if I were to see that. So
why didn't you get up?
Well, the thing is,
I probably already did because I'll be the first person to get up for.
Then there's no reason for you to get all snarky.
So what if I never had a seat to begin with? What if I'm on a crowded bus and I never got a seat? But I see somebody standing there and letting an old person clutch to the pole, about to break a hip if they fall.
Well, I will say for me, a lot of the time, because my job does not require me to stand, I am sitting down. I really, when I get on a bus, even if it's empty, I'm standing because I'm like, this is probably the most cardio I'll ever get in my life, is being swung around in a fast moving, bus. So like, I deal with it. But I'm not saying what you want to do or what you would do is wrong. I'm not saying that that's wrong at all, but I wouldn't be. To me, it's just like whatever. Like, you don't want to get up, you don't want to get up, whatever. Although indifference is probably worse than saying yes or no. It just, to me, it's like, honestly, maybe I'm just gonna say it however it needs to be said. I really don't care enough. It's like, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what it all boils down to.
It to me, there are times where I'm super, super exhausted. I'm super fucking tired. Yeah. Did anybody care to give up their seat to me? I'm not saying that I deserve that seat much more than the older person, but here I was working a 12-hour shift on my feet all fucking day, had barely any sleep, have to go home and study and do this. Did anybody care enough to do that? And I'm not saying that I shouldn't care enough about you, because if we all cared about each other enough, we would probably be in a better place. But if I constantly gave oh my God, maybe this is, too psychological for me, but if I gave every single thing up that I probably should, then what the fuck is left for me? You have to have a little bit of self-preservation at a time, though.
But do you think that's part of it? Nobody wants to give an inch because if I give an inch, then I'm losing something?
For me personally, at times I do think that way. It's like, okay, well, too fucking bad you decided to have 18 fucking kids, so you're gonna have to deal with this fucking bus ride. You know what I mean? I hate to come off as a dick, but there are times where I think like that, and it's probably not showing me in the best light, and I apologize for that. This is my opinion, and this is what we do on the show.
I'll say this. I took the bus the whole time I was pregnant with both my kids. Mm-hmm. I was a fat person, so I didn't really look like I was pregnant, so I don't think anybody ever gave me their seat on the bus, which I was fine with. Unless it's like, 100 degrees outside and I see a really noticeably pregnant, then I feel sorry for them because it is very uncomfortable being pregnant. I will say that. But I don't know. Just like when I look at an old person and I just think of, like they're on the bus because they don't have anybody that will drive them somewhere. That makes me sad. And I just think that,
I don't have anybody driving me too, bitch.
Yeah. But do you have children or a husband yet? Or grandchildren?
No. I did have a husband, you bitch. Thanks for reminding me, you whore. Now I'm gonna cry again. No,
oh my god.
All jokes aside, though, like with the pregnant thing, I do feel bad because I do value I do value women a lot. I think you're very aware of this. I am very attached to women. I think I think more so than men. But there are certain instances where I'm just like, I really need to sit down too. I'm sorry. But I always do give up my seat.
You gotta remember, when I was pregnant, I was a hairdresser, so I was standing at least 8 or 10 hours.
Well, that's different.
And I never complained about getting a seat because I still stand on my feet. It doesn't bother me to stand. But I don't know. I just like old people.
I don't mind. For me too.
That literally can kill them if they fall.
Kill the baby. Yeah, I know. But it's for me, like, this is why a lot of the time to not involve myself in a potential fight or, battle of it all, I stand on an empty bus. There have been times where the older lady would pull me and say, sit down, there's a seat here. No, thank you. Because I sit down for 8.5 hours, at my job in front of a computer. And half the time I'm trying to find reasons to stand the fuck up. So it's like, I don't. But there are people, like, especially when these high school kids come in and I'm like, you can get up and give your seat to the lady. It shows your manners. I would do, that I understand, maybe to the older person as well, though I don't really give a fuck. Do it, why not? But again, equality. If you're going to talk about equality, equality means we're all fucking equal. You're not going to get any special rights out of me. I don't think
people are the same. I think that we should hold them to a little bit, not a higher standard.
Of a different standard?
I don't want to say a different standard because it's not the same thing. Like, I just, little more gently, you know what I mean? Like a little more compassion toward old people than I would have for the average stranger.
They've put their fucking time in. They've dealt with the stresses, the ups and downs of life. It's true. Like everything I was saying there, like with the whole bus thing, like it's bullshit. I'll always give up my seat. Like I'll always give up my seat.
I was like surprised you were saying that. I'm like, I know your mother raised you to get up and give your seat to someone.
I will always get up and give my seat.
I'm like, I know your mother and father did not raise you that way.
No, fuck no. But to say that I do it in the name of equality or feminism, because again, it's not about equality. It's about achieving special privileges.
Privileges, yeah.
I don't. No, I never will. I will never give in to anybody with their.
If I see a woman who's middle aged, now I'm middle aged too. But if I saw a woman who's middle aged and it was like rush hour, I know she's coming home from work. If she can go to work, she can stand. Fuck her. I'm tired too.
Like, you want to see the best example of this shit? Wake up early one day, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and get on the first GO train. I know. But get on the first GO train, head to Toronto, and all these people going to work. And let's see how fucking equal everybody is. Let's see how many people are giving their fucking seats up.
It's like, 2 men enter, 1 man leave. That's the mentality.
Right. I don't think there's a single fucking person alive, well, here in the West at least, that doesn't believe in equality between all of us. And if you don't, you're stupid. Now, do I agree or believe that we are equal in every aspect? No, I don't. I truly don't. I definitely believe that there are biological differences that make men better at certain things than women, that make women better at certain things than fucking, vice versa. That's a fact. Now, when it comes to like terms of race and shit like that, no, I don't think that there's any fucking biological differences between the abilities or anything like that. Even though, you look at black athletes and they are by far, the better athletes, but that's beside the point.
That's not a genetic thing. That's just a physiological,
it's just a physiological
stronger, better muscles or whatever. Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest, that's a fucking, that's a
gift with
a symptom of fucking slavery in the U.S., which I know is a dirty topic.
You're exactly right, because they were bred
selective breeding, it really fucked with everything.
They took 2 strong people, made them have sex and have babies, so they would have much stronger, slaves. Yeah.
But it's just, it kills me with this shit, like that we don't believe that we're equal, or that there's this huge disparity between the sexes when it comes to that. I've never witnessed it. And I say it all the time, I can only ever really go off by the things that I have either seen or interacted with on my own.
Or experienced,
And I've never seen that. The most successful person I know is a single woman. My wife is a very successful fucking person, way more successful than I am. Way more successful than I could even fucking hope on being. So it's for me, when I hear this shit, and I mean, again, it's The other thing too is when the proponents of this feminist movement start talking, it's not an open discussion. They are yelling at you. They are yelling their truth at you. So it's hard for someone like me to take what they're saying serious. It's hard for me to take what they're saying even with open ears, because I don't like being yelled at. You're not my father. I did that through my childhood. I'm not doing that shit no more. Like, I don't need to fucking be yelled at to think a certain way. You know, and I believe a lot of the population, at least people that are against this kind of shit, that's where they're coming from. It's just like, you don't yell at me to get your point across. You talk.
Yeah, well, this is the problem, is that you're so busy trying to say, you know, I want to get mine.
Yeah.
That it's not, I'm just trying to get to the same place that men are. It's I'm trying to get more. I'm trying to get ahead. Men were in power for so long. Now it's time for women to get into power, and we're going to show men, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yes, men were in power for so long, but now let's just get in even stride with them, and life would be so much easier than if we try to be on top. When someone's on top, someone's on the bottom.
I brought that up too. I was having this discussion with somebody, and I brought that up, that, you know, it's time for a matriarchy. The patriarchy's had its time, and I was like, all right, that's cool. Like, I guess I can kind of understand the sentiment behind it. Are you going to dismantle the world and build your own civilization?
Yeah, you're going to start from scratch because it's the only way you can do it.
Well, then you're still technically, you know, being a proponent of patriarchy. And I fucking hate that term. I do. Like, and again, it's another one of those terms that was just thrown around so goddamn much that I'm just like, it's got no meaning
anymore. It's lost its power.
Right? Yeah. But seriously, are you going to tear down everything we have and start anew? No, then you're not really talking the right stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I personally don't believe that the realm of feminism we have now is needed. You're not suffragettes. You're not trying to get the right to vote. You're not trying to get the right to go to work. You're not trying to get the right to own land. You know what I mean? Like, to me, a lot of this shit's superficial.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, and there's more places you can send your feminism. Let's send it to Iran. Let's send it to Saudi Arabia. Let's send it to Africa. You know, there's a lot of places where they don't have their equal rights or any rights.
Yeah.
Let's try to help them instead of worrying about, you know,
some
of the things that are ridiculous.
I'm watching videos on the Women's March, just interviews, right? And I don't like people that edit their shit and stuff like that. I try to go and watch videos of people that just ask a question and then give me the unedited version of what these people said. And one guy brings up Iran, the protests that are happening in Iran, and how these women are really, you know, they're trying to fight actual real oppression. Like, these, you got to remember, these people, these women in Iran are not human beings. They're property. Right? They are nothing without the men that stand behind them. And when this question was asked to this very young college educated fucking, you know, like, thinks she knows it all because she read a fucking Nietzsche book. Oh, I don't care about that. This is America, and all I care about is Americans. God. And he's like, but when Trump said that, when Trump said, you know, America first, she's like, oh, well, that was just completely abhorrent. We got to care about people in the world. And it's like, get your shit together. Get your fucking shit together. You can't send all your
opposing views.
You know, and that's a big thing I've had an issue with this rise of third wave feminism. It's a lot of double talk, a lot of double think. You know, I'm not a fan of that. If they can get at me with a proper mission statement, as stupid as that is of saying, but you know what I mean? Like a real cohesive fucking idea and be a unified front, you would see a lot more people paying attention.
Yeah, but the problem is you'll never, it's the same as any movement. You're never going to have a unified front because there's so many people coming in with all these different agendas.
Well, and that's the other, the other side of it.
Well, I was going to say, you know, like, again, going back to one of my, the old offices that I used to work in, Jacqueline knows these stories because I think I've told you the stories before, right? I worked with a bunch of women who would feel bad for the other women who weren't getting the same thing, blah, 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 but would be mad at me that I was making more than them in terms of selling because I apparently take from them because I'm already a man. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking
if you're getting your commission, you earned your commission.
Why can't we equate that to work?
When did this happen? You don't mind me asking, like, how long ago was this?
God, I started there.
Left there a year ago, right?
Yeah. So
and I was there for 4 years. Yeah.
You're a homosexual minority. You have them beat in the Victim Olympics, man. You really let that opportunity slip through your fucking fingers. You could have destroyed these fucking people. And that's the other thing of this, right? That's the other thing. Like, you know, we want to talk equality. We want to talk about, you know, all that shit, but nothing's about that. Everything is about who's the victim, who's the bigger victim, who can be the shittiest fucking person and just claim victimhood to justify them being a shitty fucking person.
Okay. Yeah. That is part of the issue, is that we're all in a woe is me moment.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's woe is me for this, woe is me for that. If I focused, and this is just me as an individual, if I focused on all of the wrong things that have gone on in my life, I probably would have jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge a long time ago. You know, I choose to not victimize myself from the circumstances that have occurred in my life. I just choose to move forward. I don't like to call myself a survivor. I don't like to call myself a victim. It just is. It just was. I moved on. You know what I mean? And some people might take offense to the things that I have said, and only a few rare people, you know, Jacqueline knows about some of the stuff that I've, you know, done and been through in my life. I choose to not be a victim of it. I just move forward. I just do. You know what I mean? Like, fuck the whole.
Some people aren't. Other people, if they're not going on about how horrible their life is or how their life was, then they've got nothing to talk about because they have nothing else going on in their life.
Being a
like how they only had fucking toast for breakfast.
Right, like being a victim is the in thing, and like Ryan just said about the burnt toast, like there's varying degrees. Like obviously, if you are a transgendered Black Muslim, you are now at the top. You are at the tippy top of the victimhood Olympics. Right, there's a tier to it, and it to me, it's really sad that this is where we're at. That, you know, unless you've faced some anecdotal fucking hardship in your life, then your opinion is not valid. That you don't have
you haven't suffered. You grew up in a beautiful house with a silver spoon,
or you're fucking privileged because of your race or some bullshit like that, you know. And to me, it hurts. Like it really hurts, and not in a personal or a physical kind of thing, but it hurts us as a people, as a society. Because how do I grow as a person? So let's say that, you know, I was transphobic, that I was, you know, or however you want to quantify that. How does you being a victim and then just berating me with shit change my mind? How does it wake me up to me being a shitty fucking person towards you? Even if I even was.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Like, it's that to me is the dirty side of what's going on with this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I love the positives. I like seeing the women's march. As much as it wasn't a march for me because, you know, unfortunately, and I don't like saying this, I have to be a fucking Trump supporter, you know, and that rally was not for anybody that fucking supported Trump. You know, you're breaking down walls to put more up. You're breaking, you know. It's
like something like the Women's March should be amazing. You know, this is women, millions of women across the world, even coming together, and, you know, it should be amazing, but it's not. It's causing more problems because they're trying to exclude people, and they're trying to be like, you're not the right kind of women.
That's it. It's another spot for grandstanding.
Well, think about, I've spoken to you guys about this a lot off the air, and I'd love to speak about it on air. I have never felt like I was a part of the gay community. And it is because, all jokes aside, and seriously, Cynthia Whitestone is gone. I'm going to talk as Ryan. It's because I'm not a white, skinny male.
Yeah.
It's because I'm not the poster idea of what we have as these gay people. You watch Queer Ass Folk. That was as neo-Nazi as it got. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing. You think about it.
No offense.
You know, think about women have it hard. Gay guys really do have it harder.
Think about that show that was on HBO with Jonathan Groff. I forgot what it was called. Again, all white.
Yeah.
It's the idea of what we have as gay males. Or you think about that other show that was on Logo years ago, Noah's Ark, it was called. It was all black. Great strides for the gay community. Finally, a show that kind of, but they did not represent me. They didn't represent the kind of gay I am, because we think of gay, they're all fashionable and this and that. And yeah, I fall into some of those categories or whatever the case is. But that is not what Ryan encompasses. Like I'm Ryan, this is the truth. And I have always been proud to say I do not go to Pride. I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because as you guys decide to celebrate your one day of being gay, the whole 364 and a half other days, I was busy trying to fight for rights. You know what I mean? I was busy sitting down with state senators talking about legislation to protect our people, not just my kind of people, the gays. I'm talking about our people, all of us, to, when people still don't talk about how there are 23 states in the United States of America that can fire you for your sexual orientation astounds me. While you're all busy trying to fight for your PrEP. People, I don't know if you guys are familiar with PrEP, this drug that, you take that can make you not so susceptible to HIV.
Okay.
There were people who were fighting for your actual rights to be married. So, the rights that I had to be married and now divorced.
You know how I love Lieutenant Dan Choi? I used to cry over him all the time.
These are this is what Ryan does. And it's those that really do stay quiet that have made millions of strides so others can have hopefully a piece of a piece of the pie. There's another aspect to me that I have yet, and if people are smart enough, they would know we barely touch subject on this on the show out of respect for me, and thank you guys for this, but I don't talk about it, and I'm not ready to talk about it yet, and I will eventually. But I have already made my moves for that. The millions of conversations I've had with senators, the millions of phone calls I do, the friends that I bother all the time talking about how their cost of living would go up if these people were to be gone from the country. You know what I'm talking about, guys. You know what I mean? The fight that I constantly do for it outside of this platform that I have, whether there's one person listening or 100 million people listening to us, I do my fair share. I do not victimize myself. I do not make myself into a survivor. I just am. It's just my life. I live it, and I fight for what I need to fight for. That is my issue. People call themselves feminists. People call themselves meninists. People call themselves this. People call themselves that. You know what you are? Be you and do what you gotta fucking do. Stop worrying so much about blah 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 blah, and how Snapchat is this, or how Twitter is that, or how Instagram is this, and how you're an Instagram fucking advocate, and actually fucking do something about it. You want to fix it? Do something about it. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. Yeah. Sorry for the little rant, but that's what bothers me a lot of the times, because there are people like moi who have done so much. I don't ask for recognition. I barely talk about this stuff because I hate to give myself credit for something that I really don't think I deserve. It just is. It's a fact of life. You know what I mean? You fight. You do it. And then you do it again the next fucking morning. And hopefully, once you finally die, the nightmare ends. So, you get what I'm saying? Like, this is the hell that some of us have to live. Like, you want to talk about real inequality, talk about the women in the 50s.
Yeah, really though. Not even women in the 50s. And I do get that most people can relate to that because, we all have grandparents and shit. We all have someone that would have been affected by that lifestyle. Same with Jim Crow and all that kind of shit. You do have to give validity to that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not the big scary fucking boogeyman that is being forced down our goddamn throats. There's no reason to organize a fucking protest to protest shit that's not happening. There's no reason to get your fucking quote-unquote panties in a bunch over something that's not fucking happening, over something that you might have been misinformed about, something that might not have been exactly told as true.
Exactly told.
Well,
I get why the women marched in the first place last year, because
100%.
Trump did say he was coming for this and he was going to change that and he was going to make people who had abortions criminals and stuff like that. I can see why women were afraid of that.
Absolutely.
I think this year, instead of worrying about Women's March, because none of that has come to fruition, they need to get behind the Dreamers. You know, they need to get behind, a lot of people that don't have any kind of health care because they got rid of Obamacare, things like that.
I just kind of think, like, if you're a feminist and you self-identify as a feminist, you should not be chirping about shit that's going on in the West. You really shouldn't. Like, I'm sorry. You want to champion a cause that's happening abroad. And I'm not saying that the issues or how you feel isn't valid. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But if you truly do believe in the empowerment of all women and for all women to have equal rights, then you really have to look at what's going on in the world and stand up for this shit. Now, I'm assuming we all seen the picture of the Iranian girl who is defiantly taking off her hijab and waving it at the police. She's gone. She's disappeared. No one knows where the fuck this girl is. Her family hasn't heard.
That was from December. She disappeared December 26th or 28th, something like that.
She's probably dead.
Oh, she's more than likely dead. And I have not heard a single person champion that cause.
Well, actually, today that 6 women went and did the same thing.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen those pictures, which is great. Yeah. It's fucking amazing. But I'm sorry, these are the causes that I believe as Westerners that we should be championing.
Yes.
But I never heard about that until today.
That she's gone?
No, that even happened.
Oh, wow.
But no, what the other thing that people don't talk about in the Philippines, the HR bill, this bill that would finally allow or have it easily access birth control for women. People don't talk about how women in the Philippines are ostracized, criticized, and isolated for taking birth control or even having access to something to control and have control of their lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's and the other thing too. What happens to a woman that is a single mother then?
Yes.
She's
my God.
Just treated just as badly, right?
Do you know that in the 80s and in the 90s, there was a law in the Philippines that could have you fired if you were a single woman and you were not married? Believe it or fucking not.
Yeah.
This was during the time where there was a woman president sitting, Corazon Aquino. This was law. This was an acceptable thing.
Yeah.
This is a super Catholic country. We don't talk about that. People don't talk about you're up in arms because you're wearing 3-inch heels and you're fucking pissed off that your feet hurt. Yet that woman doesn't have a job because she is a single mother.
Yeah, no,
doesn't have access to healthy medication. Yeah. Any of those things.
Again, that's my whole issue with a lot of this stuff. It's not. I don't like taking away from people. Like, if you believe that you're being wrong, then you believe you're being wrong, and there's nothing I can say to really change that.
I do. Yeah.
But it's just I get personally offended when I hear women. And I'll say flat out women because I am talking about feminism.
Yeah, you're talking about feminism.
I get really upset when I hear them talk about things in Canada or things in the U.S. as if it is the Philippines or if it is Iran or Saudi Arabia. Because now you're downplaying what these real, actual fucking victims of fucking sexism are going through. And these are real victims of true sexism. These women, as I said, are not people to these people.
There's no laws to protect them.
There's nothing. Zero.
You get raped, you're the criminal.
You know what I mean? So, stop fucking screaming in the streets at Trump Tower. Please. You're not accomplishing anything except making yourself look
not even there,
fool.
You idiot.
Stop.
At least go protest outside of the White House. Come on.
Like Dan Choi did.
To me, it's just...
I can hear him.
They're doing themselves a disservice, and I always have, I honestly always have considered myself a feminist, but in the truest fucking meaning of the word. I do not believe that there are any special rights or abilities that I have aside from a few biological things that differentiate me from a woman, that they are capable of doing everything I'm capable of doing. And I've always thought this way, and I've never encountered this level of sexism. I've never seen this shit, this stuff that keeps getting forced down my throat. I've never fucking in my life seen this shit. So to me, it makes me question the validity of this stuff actually happening or existing. I don't know.
Well, I'll say this just before we wrap it up. Just because you and I haven't experienced it, or Ryan hasn't experienced it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? Yeah. I've never experienced racism, but I'm sure it happens every day to people out there that are visible minorities.
We've all experienced a form of racism or another. Every single one of us. I mean, unless you buy in. I've never
got the white trash kind of thing. People looked at me and knew I was white trash and judged me for that.
I was living in a certain area in Scarborough and got beat up like once a week for being white in the wrong neighborhood. But again, that's not racism nowadays because it's, you know, power plus privilege plus whatever. But, you know, we've all experienced that. I don't know. It's just, again, I've never seen or heard or anything of the level of the shit that is being said to me is happening, you know. Now, if there's fucking proof, please, somebody point me in the direction of this proof. Like, you know what I mean? Like, seriously, in all fucking earnest honesty, I would love to see the proof.
So send it to us in our YouTube or on our Facebook page, and we'll discuss it on Wednesday.
Yes, if you do honestly have empirical fucking evidence that will show me, you know what I mean?
Come on, feminazis, let's put Arthur in his place.
Seriously, please.
Okay, so we went like a whole half hour over time.
Woo!
So, and still, I mean, we could go on for another 2 hours talking about this.
Yes.
But have a good couple days. We'll be back on Wednesday. Thanks for listening. And have a great day.
Take care.
Bye.